I know we're not there at the off season, but what rule tweaks are we looking at?
Well, the biggest thing that's going on right now is the automated strike zone. We continued the testing in the minor leagues last year. We have decided that we're going to test the challenge version. There's two versions of ABS. One where every pitch gets called in the umpire's ear, and the other that's a challenge system. We're going to test this challenge system in spring training with major league players. One of the things that we learned with the rule changes that we did a couple of years ago, and one of the things we've heard from players is just remember, whatever you do in the minor leagues, it's great, but the big leagues are different. And we're going to try to determine whether the system we have is up to snuff to be used by major league players.
Is it inevitable we're going to have automatic balls and strikes, in your opinion? During your next 4 years, will we have automated strike zone?
I think you will see some version of the automated strike zone in the big leagues in the next 4 years. Look, the technology piece of it is so robust, Dan. I mean, literally, the path of the pitch is tracked good to 1/100th of an inch. And it's just hard to ignore that kind of technology when it's available.
And I think the key is that, obviously you remember, the pitch clock was, oh my God, what are they doing? And then nobody brought it up. It hasn't come up in months. Oh, the bigger bases. Oh, we need pizza boxes out there. It doesn't come up anymore.
This is why you're so good at what you do. I have to tell you, when we think about change, we think about it exactly the way that you describe it. That we're going to put a change out there, and no matter how big or how small it is, the first month is going to be hell on wheels. Everybody's going to hate it. And then, they see it, and the game is still the game, and it makes the game a little better, and people get used to it. I mean, even little things. You remember, it was a few years ago now, we went to you can just signal for an intentional walk. You don't have to throw the 4 pitches. My voicemail after that change was made, for about the first 3 weeks, people called me. You can't repeat the things people say on my office voicemail. It's just people literally lose their mind over a change that's completely inconsequential.
Wait, I can call you in your office and leave a voice message?
Oh, just yeah. Unfortunately, people figure out how to get here. Yeah.
Oh my God! Can I give out your number now in case anybody wants to be upset with the automated?
I would prefer we put them to the test on that.
So they're leaving messages on there.
Oh yeah. People leave messages. Look. One of the great things about the game, it's taken me time to come to appreciate this. Good, bad, or indifferent, the fact that people are passionate enough about the game to take time to express their views in very strong ways, that is a strength of our sport. I mean, it demonstrates the connection that people have to the game and how much they care about the game.
You know what? I think you had a great year, and I've said this before the last couple of months, but you took chances. Get rid of those stupid All-Star game uniforms. That's the next thing on the list, right? We're taking care of that, right?
Yep, we are.
Okay, that's an easy fix, right?
Well, let's talk about that for a minute, because it's sort of an interesting one. One of the reasons that we stayed where we were for as long as we did is the All-Star game uniforms was a product that sold a lot. Usually when people are buying something, it's an indication that they think it's a good idea. This was a really interesting one. People were buying it.
But they hated it.
Yeah, I don't know why. I don't know why they bought it if they hated it that much. But look, I think it's a change that's good for us over the long haul.
Yeah, but you can still do that, Commissioner. You can still make an alternative jersey, but let's go back to the old school of.
Yeah, we'll have jerseys that we use during the home run derby, probably. That I think that's where it will land. So we will still have the product, but it was an interesting one, and I do think it's one of those experiments where, we did it. People spoke, we listened, and we're back to where we were.
The Pete Rose documentary. Did you watch it?
I did. Mm-hmm.
Did you find out anything that you didn't know, or something that maybe you cared a little more about?
Look, I'd spent enough time with Pete over the years that I had a pretty good feel for what he was about. I think the best thing about the documentary is it presented a pretty accurate picture of who Pete is and was. I mean, he was a complicated person, combination of appealing and unappealing aspects that you don't often find in a human being.
All right, I want you to answer this so I don't have to answer it anymore. When my audience says, yeah, but baseball is in bed with gambling, and so aren't they being hypocritical with Pete Rose?
Yeah, here's how I think about that. I think it's a privilege to work in Major League Baseball and to be a Major League Baseball player. Often, when you have a privilege, it comes with obligations. The obligation in this case is to stay away from gambling because involvement with gambling by people who work in the game and can influence outcomes reflects and presents a threat to the integrity of the game. So that's a category of people. Fans are different. The government, in this case, the Supreme Court, paved the way for legalization of sports betting. Fans want to engage with the game in that way. They present no threat to the integrity of the game or a minimal threat to the integrity of the game. And as a result, we have different rules that apply to those fans and have taken advantage of that business opportunity. I don't see any inconsistency between those two rules. I really don't.
I worry about prop bets, Commissioner.
Yeah, I don't know. I have to say we have lobbied against prop bets in a variety of states, all the states actually. They are certainly more problematic than outcome-based, who won the game kind of bets. And we have tried to get the states to recognize that there are some, betting per se, sports betting may be fine. There are certain kinds of bets that are problematic.
Great to talk to you. Take a victory lap. You certainly had a great year. Major League Baseball had a great year as well, and hopefully we get a great World Series. Thanks again.
Thank you, Dan. It's always a pleasure.
That's Rob Manfred. He's been the commissioner since 2015.